Superman Grounded was published from 2010 to 2011. It was written by J. Michael Starskinski and Chris Robertson, and penciled by Eddie Barrows with covers by John Cassidy. Now, this comic touches on a lot of stuff, both morally and politically questionable. And because there are 11 issues, I'm only going to touch on a few of the moments from this series that caught my eyes and ears. So to give you a little background of this story, a woman comes up to Superman and she says that her husband died from a tumor and blames him that he didn't save him in time. And Superman feels bad. I guess he feels like he's out of touch with man. So he goes on a cross-country walk and just walks across America, solving issues. In the first issue, Superman comes across a woman about to take her life by jumping off a high-rise. She explains that her mother died from a terminal illness and that she feels that life is unfair. Superman gives her a fun little pep talk about how life does in fact suck right now. He says John Lennon is dead, but Muammar Gaddafi is still alive. JFK is dead, but Fidel Castro is still alive. Gandhi is dead, but Manson walks still. I mean, that really gives you a good time frame of when this was written, and right off the bat gives you a good look into kind of mindset that Superman's going to be throughout this comic. Just negative and a fucking downer. In the second issue, Superman finds a group of aliens hiding on Earth pretending to be humans. They are a group of doctors and scientists hiding on Earth because their home planet has fallen under tyranny. Superman, the American hero that he is, starts giving them shit immediately, asking them what they're doing to help the community and that they can't just come here and contribute nothing to society. They then say Superman was given a chance, why can't they be given the same opportunities? Superman says he'll agree to keep their secret if they start helping people, but if not, he'll turn them in. Alright, stay with me here. All this happens in Detroit. Superman then walks along by a closed-down auto manufacturing factory. An older gentleman is keeping watch of the building and talks to Superman, saying after LexCorp came in, the factory closed and many people were out of a job. The old man then has a heart attack. Superman quickly rushes the man to the aliens who agree to help him. Afterwards, they open up a medical facility in Detroit where the closed auto factory was, and now everyone has a job again. God bless you, Superman, you saved Detroit. We have an interlude where Lois is wondering if she made the right decision in life being with Superman. She feels as if she's far from normal and feels out of touch with people she once knew as friends. The comic shows Lois in a very interesting light, having doubts and insecurities about her relationship and her job. But all that is thrown the fuck out of the window in the end because she's like, as if I'm fucking Superman. Okay, so later in book 2, we have an issue where Superman hears an explosion. He flies there to find out a power plant has exploded. He saves the people and then finds Lois there. Basically, she's doing a story about the plant supposedly dumping waste into the water supply. After Superman checks the water, he confronts the owners of the plants, and they say the amount that they are dumping is harmless, but if they stop, the plant will close. Then the townspeople chime in and say that if the plant closes, everyone will be out of a job. You don't say. Superman now being caught between a rock and an even bigger rock, he decides to let the plant continue their dumping as long as they continue to reduce the amount of waste being disposed of. Lois is furious and says she'll run the story anyway, causing Superman to get really upset with her and threatens her not to run the story. But guess what? At the end we find out she ran the story anyway, and he's like, that's why I love you, so why does any of this fucking matter? I guess they lost their job. Oh, they say the American way a lot in this story. Like a lot. The story even ends with Superman saying American way and winking at the fucking camera. I will say one of the only good comics of this series is a comic in which the Flash and Superman have a conversation in a diner. They talk about legacy and what happens when they're gone, and it's actually kind of interesting and really feels like a breath of fresh air through this fucking slop. There's another issue where a random man shows Clark Kent that people really do like Superman and take comfort in his existence. He talks to different people and they share their encounters with Superman, one of which is a little girl whose cat was stuck in a tree. The mother then shares that it doesn't matter that we were not from here either. He helps us because that is the American way. So, good to know that Superman's all accepting. He also stopped the school shooting, so, what a guy. Basically, this whole comic is paying Superman to be the classic American guy that helps his friends in needs and makes sure he's doing what's best, what he thinks in the moment at least, what's best for the community. Really, the whole thing is just chock full of political and moral questioning, and yet still manages to be incredibly boring. This comic is definitely going for more of that classic Superman feel, but looking to bring it to modern times. The whole comic is just Superman coming to terms with the fact that he's old and doesn't understand the world anymore. You could even say this just might be the creators of this book's views. They just wanted to express it through a Superman comic of all things. Don't read this. Maybe the Flash one out of all of it, but honestly, you don't need to read this. No one needs to read this. It took me so fucking long to finish it, purely because of how boring it was. It's stale, slow, and moronic, but hey, isn't that the American way?